Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with yesterday's season premiere episode of Monday Night Raw, broadcast live on USA Network from the Saddle Dome in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. In the main event, Jey Uso won a fatal four-way with Braun Strowman, Ilya Dragunov, and Pete Dunne to earn a shot at Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker at Bad Blood. The win came when Uso pinned Dragunov after a top rope splash.
Uso clears it with a kick!
A timely super kick to the jaw, and now the drop zone is done!
Uso splash! Hook of the leg! For the number one contender, he's done it! He's done it! A major leap forward!
Your winner! Main event, Jey Uso!
Claiming his first singles championship, that is the ultimate destination. And right now, it's within sight. Calgary Yeats, Alberta, Canada is loving it.
Bronson Reed made his presence felt during the match, putting Strowman through the announcer's table. Bret Hart made his first appearance on Monday Night Raw since 2013 and was confronted during a promo segment by world champion Gunther. Sami Zayn came out to Hart's defense, but Gunther once again declined Zayn's challenge for a world title shot at Bad Blood.
My answer remains no.
That doesn't look like a champion to me. That looks like a coward. That looks like a dirty yellow coward right there, walking back to the dressing room. A gutless yellow coward.
During another in-ring promo segment, Raw GM Adam Pearce informed Drew McIntyre that he'd be facing CM Punk for a third time at Bad Blood, this time in Hell in a Cell. Earlier in the segment, McIntyre had a heated exchange with Raw commentator Wade Barrett, who had attempted to stop his attacks on Punk in the past. In the opening match, the Wyatt Six defeated American Made when Dexter Lumis pinned Julius Creed. Women's Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill retained their title against the Unholy Union. Before her hometown crowd, Natalya scored her first win on Raw in 10 months, teaming with Lyra Valkyria and Zelina Vega to defeat the Pure Fusion Collective. In other results, Dominic Mysterio beat Dragon Lee. Rey Mysterio beat Finn Balor by disqualification when Balor refused to break in the ropes for a count of 5. And during a promo segment, the Judgment Day attacked Damian Priest until Jey Uso made the save. In ratings news, the final episode of SmackDown on Fox drew an audience of 1.770 million viewers according to WrestleNomics. That represents a nearly 14% drop from the previous week's audience of 2.054 million. That follows a drop of nearly 10% from the audience of the week before, which drew 2.250 million. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demographic was a 0.45, also down from the previous week's demo rating of 0.53. This was the smallest audience for a live SmackDown on Fox in over 3 years. The episode ran directly against the all-out go-home episode of AEW Collision. That Collision episode drew the lowest audience in the show's history, bringing in just 157,000 viewers to TNT, according to WrestleNomics. The rating in the 18 to 49-year-old demo was a 0.04. A live Rampage, which followed Collision on Friday night, drew 233,000 viewers to TNT, representing a gain in an audience of 76,000 from the Collision lead-in. That's also up from the previous week's Rampage, which drew a viewership of 218,000. The 18 to 49 demo rating for Rampage was 0.08, also up from the previous week's demo rating of 0.07. And finally, in NXT and TNA news, the Rascals are no longer scheduled to challenge for the NXT Tag Team title on tonight's edition of NXT on USA Network, according to an announcement made yesterday. It was announced that the Rascals would be unable to take part in the match due to what were described as unfortunate circumstances. Set to take their place against Axiom and Nathan Frazier are the Street Profits. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The wrestling news can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News Podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the wrestling news across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.